name's Ray Kosulandich. I'm a longtime contactee. This started with me at age 12 in 1959. It really started with my grandfather first. He was in Yugoslavia. He was a lumberjack. And my grandmother would give him like 5 sandwiches. He'd have his coffee and he'd sit on the stump. And out of these woods came this 12-inch dwarf and sat on his stump by my grandfather. My grandfather would give him a sandwich and he would communicate and they would talk. And this would go on pretty much. He had 4 sons and were Croatian Yugoslavia because they would speak in different language so no one could understand what they were saying. The only one that really took my grandfather serious was my dad because he knew that he was telling the truth. And in these conversations I would hear, because I was a lot younger, but something that this little dwarf was telling my grandfather was that his son and one of his grandsons are going to be chosen to meet a lot of different star people. You people call them aliens, they're really star people. So that's kind of where it started there. Now, I grew up in a town called Dogtown, and my dad had a 4-family flat. And I used to go across the streets on a Saturday morning, every Saturday morning. We had these enormous street lights, and they were real big. And I had these little pebbles, because I used to love to hear the ping off of these lights. And I had 2 boulders to break it, I was a 12-year-old kid. Well, I started throwing the little pebbles at the light, and I was hearing a ping. And out of the corner of my eye, it's Manchester's like a main street, and then Tam Avenue is the street I lived on. We were the second building on the right, across the street. But anyway, I saw this metallic ball. It was a little bit bigger than a basketball, and it was real silent. We didn't have remote control back then, and I couldn't understand what this was, but it come over my head about 30 feet. Well, a little kid, 12 years old, I picked up one of the boulders because I was going to throw at it, hit it, it would fall, break in half. This is a little 12-year-old kid. And when I went to step back to throw, I saw these little windows with these little figures. Well, down the road, these are my buddies now. They're 3-inch humanoids. They had shot a beam of light on me, like a green beam on me. There was a small parking lot, and it was this first house. It went up over the house, down, shot straight up in the air, disappeared. So I went running into the house. My mom's cooking breakfast. My dad's sitting in his seat. He always had this pad that he would write on. So I started drawing what I'm seeing. And my dad's jumping up and down saying UFO, all these big words. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about because I was only 12. He said, "Where did you see this?" And I said, "Dad, I saw it out in the front." Well, my dad went running, and my mom went running after him. So when I got out there, I brought him back in the house, and he had me sit down at the kitchen table. He said, "What I want you to do is tell me everything." And I go, "Well, if I tell you everything, you're not going to kick my ass, are you?" Because he kind of laughed about that. And my dad knew that he was not alone no more. He had somebody to console with. My dad was 8th grade education. And I didn't realize that we were going to actually meet E.T., that evening. What he went and done first is he went grocery shopping because he thought more about my mom than E.T. And he bought all the groceries, 2 loaves of bread, and then we go to meet E.T. in this area. The car dies, and they're coming after us, and there's this giant flying saucer. So they get us out of the car, and they're walking us into this craft. They put me in one room and my dad in the other room. And I was 12 years old. I was real scared. And they're scraping and taking semen. And I'm sure they're doing the same thing to my dad. And when I looked up at the ceiling, because I'm on this metal table, I saw this yellow blanket light coming down and would cover my neck, and my feet would be open in my head. I could move my feet in my head. And I was real scared. And I was trying to push through it. I'm just a 12-year-old kid. And I'm sure my dad's going through the same thing. So finally, they put us in this room together, this beautiful room, and we had black and white TV. This is in the 50s. We didn't have color TV. And all of a sudden, this color TV comes floating in the air right in front of us. It shows Hitler, all the wars, and our beautiful planet totally on fire. And I was only 12, so my dad's asking him questions. Did we have war with you? Did the sun fall? They're not saying anything. So when that's all over with, we're coming out of the craft. I'm sitting down now, but if I was standing up, our nose started bleeding real bad. It was coming out of this nostril. It's not even hitting the ground. It's like a chain. It's going back into the other nostril. And I'm looking at my dad because he's going through the same thing. We're hitting ourselves in the chest because we thought we were going to die right there. So they're walking us back to the car. And we get in, and then they're walking back in the craft, and they leave. And when I went to turn around to the back seat, I saw everything was there but the bread. And that's when I grabbed my dad's shirt, and I said, Daddy, 12-year-old kid, everything's there but they took the bread. So our car started. We're going back home because we had this big backyard. It was 210 by 60. I used to cut it with a push mower. And we would talk and console. My mother, my older brother, and my sister never knew anything about our lives because my dad scared the hell out of me. Because he told me if we ever say anything, the guys in the white jackets would come, take us away, and you never see your mother, your brother, or sister. Well, that scared the hell out of me. And it was a reason for my dad to say that. But this little kid, 12 years old, it just lit in my brain about this bread. So I'm talking to my dad, and I go, Daddy, the next time we meet star people, that was the first thing that came out of my mouth anyway, we bring bread. Well, my dad laughed. The second time we went, he took 5 loaves of bread. Third time we went, he took 7. My dad did not laugh no more. He realized that this was a peace offering. I never had any missing time. If my dad had it, he was implanted at 5 years old. I'm not saying that he did, and he probably did. If I had any missing time, it was from 0, 1 to 11 years old. But from 12 years old all the way now to 2014, I'm 66. And my dad didn't have any missing time because he was, to the part to where my dad almost, finally died and everything. But I made a quest for my father that, I would carry on and find out the answers because we had a lot of meetings in the yard where we were right about this that star people were saying. And I met a total of 32 star people, 28 good, 4 bad. The bad ones I met were the two-legged lizard reptilian people with the hideous red eyes. They were very intimidating, and they put fear in you. My dad, I met that with my dad, and I met him twice on my own in later years, 1969 and the early 70s. And then we met the Orion Greys with no black eyes from the planet Orion. The reptilians were from the planet Hydra and Draco. I forgot to say that about them. Then we met these guys in these silver suits with no face. They had a blinking light. They talked telepathically. And then the other one was there's got to be an east and west praying mantis. Because I heard they're supposed to be really spiritual and nice. But the ones that were on the craft that we were on pushed my dad down. And I kicked this one in the chin and I jumped behind my dad. And then the 12-inch dwarf that had talked to my late grandfather was right about us meeting different star people. We met these cyclop star people with one eye. They were 8 to 10 feet tall. They're from the 4th dimension. They would fly in an egg-shaped, and a lot of these meetings that we had were always at night. They had this beautiful orange color, and they would speak telepathic, and they would say that there are some of them already down underneath the ground on planet Earth, and later on we would get more information on that. But a lot of the information that we were getting was, we're destroying this planet and we need to turn it around, and if we don't, we're going to be like the dinosaur, we'll be extinct. And we were spraying everything, because back in our time, we didn't spray our gardens, any of our food, like what we do now, because in the long run, 20 years, we're killing ourselves. I met the ant people, the worm people, cat people. I met a real angel by the name of Catherine. Looks like little children. Trying to think of all the ones I met here, but all these people are real. These people we made up, and as I go through this, maybe I'll remember some more. The Serpo Greys, they're always in silver suits. They're real good friends. Matter of fact, I have a group now where this is my life for over 50 years. I call them my Fab Four. They're not the Beatles. They're the Serpo Greys from the planet Serpo, the Nordiques that look just like us, and the elephant people, and my little 3-inch humanoid buddies from the 5th and 7th dimension. They were my very first contact. I went to planet Serpo with my father and then twice by myself. We were in this craft, and we would pick up a little thing on each one. And we're sitting in these colored chairs. I'm 12 years old. And I saw these like fiber optic wire, some kind of wire all the way around the craft with these real vines. And they had these handprints. They were different. It'd be like this or like this. Something to do with each one to either start the flying saucer or whatever. And I noticed this Serpo Grey was sitting down, and he took this vine and he stuck it to the side of his hand. That's when I nudged my dad, and I said, "Dad, he's feeding himself." There's little things we would pick up. But these people have been my friends for over 50 years, like I said, and I see them like every 2 months for vital information. What I want to do is let everyone know that it took me a long time to find somebody to tell my life story to, and I was really lucky. Debbie Zingermeyer, who is now the Missouri director of MUFON, she's also on the board of directors. She was my very first interview on the telephone. And she had somebody that she wrote down things to ask me questions. Kind of what she was trying to do was trying to trick me, and I knew what she was doing. And I said, "Debbie, you can do whatever you want. This is my life story. I lived this with my late father, and he met half of them. I met 32 people. This is real. I don't have to make it up." And she got a hold of Margie Kay, who's assistant director in Kansas City, because Margie Kay is a top psychic remote viewer. She's assistant director of MUFON in Kansas City. She was getting her messages telepathically, and I was getting the same message in person, in real life. So it was freaking Debbie out. She said, "We got to get you guys together." So of all places, they interviewed me at Fairmont Racetrack. So we get out to Fairmont Racetrack. Margie takes out her equipment, camera, everything, and all of her batteries die. So thank God Debbie had her equipment, everything worked. So as we're going through this, Margie's interviewing me, and I kind of started off, there's even a DVD we made where I don't care what you think, Margie, this is my life. It's like what I'm saying now. And these people are real. And she was kind of laughing because when I was talking about the 3-inch humanoid, she goes, "Ray, I believe you." And there's something to this because after, in this interview we had, they actually follow her home and are talking to her. But she tells Debbie to shoot her camera straight up, and there's a giant flying saucer up there. And then Margie notices there's something else wrong. And as for my little 3-inch guys, are she's seen them over my head. The interview was for like 2.5 hours. And then she's going home while my little 3-inch humanoid guys are talking to her, following her all the way home. I went to speak at Kansas City, 2011, May 6th. And Debbie and Margie were there. And the people in Kansas City were really great. They asked a lot of questions. We went out to the parking lot. We're out there for 2.5 hours. We're asking these questions. People were really, glad that I came down here and it made them feel that the answers that they wanted, they heard from me. So I looked at Debbie and I said, Debbie, we got to get out of here because we were getting real tired. Because my little guys and the Nordiques they go wherever I speak. And I have my own meeting room today. And they've actually come in my meeting room, and because we have to get this information out. But anyway, we're going down Highway 70, and there's a lot of farmland out there, and she has this enormous, brand new big Jeep, and out of the corner of my eye, this big white light just lights up the whole farmland, and it was like 5 minutes later, all of a sudden something hits the top of her Jeep, and the Jeep is just swinging like crazy because Debbie almost lost control. And Debbie looked at me and she goes, that's a bird. And I said, a fucking bird, Rodan. So we're getting real close to Columbia, Missouri. That was like the halfway part. And it was a quick trip. I said, well, go in there, park your Jeep. You get on one side of the bumper and I'll get on the other side of the rudder bumper, whatever. And we'll stand up and look. There wasn't a mark on her tarp at all. So we're filling up and we were heading back home. And there was this like restaurant where I had my car because we were like 15 minutes each from where we live. So anyway, when I got home, I was putting my luggage away because I wanted to listen to 45 minutes of Coast to Coast, George Norrie. And I went to lay down. My little guys are really high pitched. My name's Raymond. They call me Raymond. And they come on my TV, my TV's off. They're always in a group of 8. And I can hear this pitch voice, Raymond, Raymond, Raymond. I can't exactly sound like him, but kind of get an idea. And they were letting me know that it was them that did all that with the light and hitting her Jeep. They were also down there when I spoke because we have to get this information out that they want. And, because I had God, and then I was lucky to have Debbie, Margie, and then another guy by the name of Joe Palermo, who's the top UFO investigator, MUFON, to tell my story to. And I always wanted my own place, and I finally got my meeting place for a safe haven for people to come. And there's like 6 people in my meeting room that had a lot of star people intervention in their life. I got 2 women that have a lot of hybrid children. And all my meetings are taped. I've got like 3 meetings. It's all about, people I meet, what they're saying. Like, it's really hard to get information. The thing that would really freak you out is these people read your mind. Whatever you're going to say, they know what you're going to say before you say it. Because a lot of it was an education for me and my late father to figure out Hitler, the wars, the beautiful planet on fire. We got people down on this planet that are playing God with our lives. Some of them are even killing us. The reptilians were controlling this planet for a long time. There was a group of they're called the Procedians, and they're from the planet Kela or Kela. With these, I found out through my guys, the only good reptilians, they're vegetarians. They knew the weakness of the Hydra and Draco reptilians and the Orion Greys. They actually, and it was January, February 2011, they shot a sonic blast, which actually created a 5.0 earthquake. But they killed a lot of reptilians, Orion Greys, in the bases that they blew up. What they were really concerned with is some of the human people that might have got killed. As we go through this further, people were talking about this I guess it was like an asteroid. It was called Comet Ison. It was really a large craft with these Procedians that there's 2 flying saucers that were accompanying this craft that carries 5,000 passengers, 30 different crew member, or 30 different races on it. I'm sorry, and it has like a orb light. It's a contact craft through all the worlds. And eventually, the way I get it from my Fab 4, when it does come into Earth's atmosphere, when this does happen, you have to remember it's an event that causes this. We humans are used to a date and a time, but they want everyone to see these crafts. We got a lot of friends out there. Even though I have 28 friends, there are friends. They're going to be here to help us. There's a lot of them down underneath the ground on planet Earth now. I've just remembered these 2. They're called the Blue Warriors. They're programmed to do whatever it is in case of anything happening. And they're these spiritual blues, these women. They float off the ground. They're very spiritual, and a lot of them had the same message of what we're doing. They know we're turning things around. Well, a lot of times my Fab 4 will come on, my TV is off, or they'll come on my radio, it's off. I actually had an ET phone call. I'm not trying to be funny. It lit up the whole living room, this beautiful mystic green color, and they would give me information, and it would be something like, they would say line 40, which would be Highway 40 S, which would be south. So when I would actually get on that highway south, and then I would see the craft, they would blink twice, it would come across my car, and that exit I would get off, whether it would be winding road or straight, my car would die and they're there. And then when I go on a craft, and however long I was on there, when we were done, I would go to a quick trip or a bank, because my clock would stop. So like it's 10 after 1 now. So when I go to a quick trip, I know if I was on there for an hour or 2 hours. I have Agent Orange prostate cancer, borderline diabetic, compliments the United States government. I was in the service in 1967, 69, we were sprayed with Agent Orange. The PSA, through the people and the urologists that are helping me and all the doctors, it was 14.5 before I seen them, because if I didn't, I would end up dying like a lot of guys did. And through the years, they controlled it and got it down to 0.2. But you have to remember, your PSA fluctuates. It will always rise. It's never going to stay the same. This is not a PSA for your swimming pool. This is a PSA for you. And what Agent Orange and cancer, Agent Orange messes with every organ in your body. Well, anyway, going through, being on these crafts, like I was saying, they come through other dimensions. You're carrying germs, you're hugging. These are my friends. These have been my friends for over 50 years. We're not wearing spacesuits. They didn't really realize at the time what was going on, as smart as they are. But I knew something was wrong, because my PSA, like I said, was 0.2, and it jumped to 9.6. So I had to do something real quick. And I finally told them, we'll keep meeting on the TV like we're doing. I can never go back and see you in person, because if it keeps up, I'm going to die. I'm human. So they were working on a protective shield for me, which they finally ended up doing. And I got my PSA down to about 6.5, and it's down to about 4.0 now. But when I go see them, they put me in this protective shield from the time I leave my car to the time I'm in the room and when I leave. So everything's kind of working out, and things are getting better. I got my doctors. I get this, what they call a luprin shot. I used to get it quarterly. I get it every 6 months. It's a very potent shot. This shot keeps me alive. Without this shot, I die. There's a lot of star people, the 28 that I've met, that are going to be here. There are a lot of them are walk among us right now. The star people, the Nordiques, you could put a T-shirt and a pair of jeans on. You would know the difference. The only difference on them is their eyes don't blink. These people are really built real good. They're really nice people. All the star people, other than the bad four that we met, were nice. Even the creatures, And, 12 years old, to see some of the hideous things that I've seen at 12, giant ant people, one-eyed cyclops people, worm people, cat people. I got a little cat. These are giant cats, 9 to 12 feet tall. They're blue or brown in color. They're really friendly, and they are our friends. And a lot of them have been to planet Earth many times. They're protectors and watchers of this planet. They're concerned about us. The biggest thing that I did forget, this is a biggie. They want us to stop the wars, the nuclear power plants, anything nuclear. Because this is something that even back when NASA and the military were doing Nevada test sites, the atomic bomb, everything, that gets into these dimensions, that gets to them. This is why you hear or see these UFOs that are around military bases, anything nuclear. There was a time, I think it was NORAD, that they actually flew over there, raised them giant steel girders, and then let them down on the ground, and took some of the missiles, melted some of the warheads, and went over to Russia and did the same damn thing. These people ain't playing around. They've been trying to talk to our higher-ups for years. They're coming to the people now. I'm an example, my late father, my grandfather. This is we're chosen people. And we have to get this information out to people. And I have a meeting room to do this. And then I have people that everything's, live on tape, so other people, not just in my meeting room, can see this, and you're getting actual information. I'm just a messenger, and what they're saying and what's going to happen in the future. This planet's going to be a beautiful planet. It's going to be a peaceful planet. We're going to be just like them. There's a planet out there. They have their everyday life. They're engineers. They actually design all the different crafts for these different star people. What people don't realize, as much as they want to see a UFO and meet the star people and come back and nothing happened, these people have lives just like we do. But this is all vital information going through to human people. I give you three, my late grandfather, my father, and me. There's millions of us. There's 7 billion people on this planet. We got people running the show down here, playing God, just trying to eliminate us. They want to eliminate and only control plant-wise 500 million people. I want you to think about some of the things that have been happening down here. There's a reason for this, and a lot of this is going to stop. A lot of these bad people are going to be gone. We're third dimensional. We're going to venture into fourth dimensional. We're going to turn from a carbon to a crystal liquid. This is all going to happen. I got information. I got a friend by the name of Tolik. He has the Andromeda Council. There are 12 different planets. They can't wait for visitation here and to meet us and let us know what's going on. But like I said, it's going to be an event that causes that. And there's another group called the Silver Legion. I never met them. These are a lot of females with wings. They do have men. There's barriers out in outer space that the spiritual great ones control, that nobody can. The only ones that really get to go through these barriers are the Silver Legion. The Silver Legion, as far as what I know from Tolik, me and Tolik talk a lot, they're protectors of the universe and planet Earth. There's 1 million in their force. And they're not the only ones. This Andromeda Council has a lot of power. There's a galactic federation. There's supposed to be 500 different worlds in our galaxy. 300 have our best interests. A lot of them don't. You got good and bad out there. You got good and bad down here. The only difference is that these people are more advanced than we are. We're a main player. It's our time to evolve as humans. And they're going to make sure, with no interruptions, that this goes smooth and we're all going to evolve like we're supposed to. And if you just can remember that through the past years, the Abenaki, Illuminati, whatever, all the bad ones that came down there, they were here to control us. And, this is the education me and my late father has been given. And I'm just a messenger to get this out to you people, whether you believe it or not. There's more to come. I have my meetings the first Monday of the month at Sunset Bowling Lane, 7777 Watson. My meetings are live. You can watch these meetings. The guests that I have, the information I give out to keep you updated on what's going on. I'm not the only one that's doing this. I got a friend like Tolik. There's a guy by the name of Alfred Weber, Debbie Zingemar. You need to start listening to this, and you're going to start seeing what's going on. You're going to get the answers like I am, and you're going to see that this is not a bunch of bullshit, a hoax. This is real. I'm a pretty honest person. I don't play games with nothing, and I definitely don't play games with this. And I don't care what people think. This has been my life for 50 years. I'm doing this for my late grandfather and my dad and the people on this planet.